What's up everyone, welcome back to ARTV. My name is John and it's time for another Top 10 Countdown. One that might come as a surprise to many of my viewers because you're probably thinking,
John, I thought you hated Imagine Dragons with a fire-breathing passion.
But the truth is that even though I find some of their stuff detestable, even bands that I don't like, there's always songs that I generally do like and gravitate towards, just because I have a general disdain for a band's overall persona and discography doesn't mean that I outright hate them, wish bad things upon them, or think that they're just evil inherently. In fact, Imagine Dragons do a lot of things right. There's a lot that they do for activism, and even though I don't always agree with the way that Dan Reynolds, the lead singer, goes about doing things, I admire his right to do so. He's got a lot of guts and gusto, and sometimes that translates well to the actual music. There's going to be some honorable mentions in the description, and while this wasn't exactly an easy list for me to assemble, these are going to be my personal favorites from Imagine Dragons, the pop rock band from Las Vegas, Nevada that have really taken over in the 2010s decade. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'm sure that this might be a divisive one, but also one that I think the comments are going to be very interesting to read on. Anyways, let's get into it. Drop a like on the video, subscribe for the love of music, and here is my number 10 selection.
I'm only a man with a cable got me. I'm taking a stand.
Again and again, I've criticized Imagine Dragons for appearing on far too many soundtracks, but at the start of that whole game they were playing where they were rolling the dice and like, okay, I'll put a song on this soundtrack, I'll put one here. There were actually a few good ones, a few decent ones at least that came out of there, and with my top 10 today, it's a little bit different because normally it's about something that I just outright always love, every single song on the top 10. And with my number 10 pick, Monster, I enjoy this song for what it is, but I wouldn't say it's a personal favorite. I think what I like about this song is the catchiness, the sense of melodrama that does linger in a lot of ID's music, but here on this track in particular, I just find it almost comical the way that Reynolds drags out, a monster, a monster. The way he pronounces it is kind of hilarious, and the song is catchy, it's fun, I like the guitars, it does fit well for the soundtrack for this game, Infinity Blade 3, at least as far as I can tell.
I'm anxious, I'm self-assured, I'm nervous and I'm pacing, though I'm pacing on the map of the river and the wrath of the giver.
Number 9 is from Evolve. Surprise, surprise, it's Mouth of the River, the one track that I really tolerated overall and grew to like over a period of time. I feel that this track kind of combines some of their earlier roots, sprinkles in a little bit of that Imagine Dragons magic that they do so well in terms of getting on the radio and succeeding in the mainstream, but I feel that this track actually has a little bit extra heart. I like the intro to this song. There's a little bit of a twinkling key. We hear the refrain, the mouth of the river, and then the guitars in the background are surprisingly stern during the verses, and then that chorus, it soars, especially in a live setting like you could see from that clip that I played you. While I still don't understand its appeal overall, I'll readily admit that Origins was a significant step up from Evolve, although that wasn't that hard to accomplish. Birds was a deluxe bonus track. In fact, it's now been released as a single. There's a remixed version, but at number 8, I have the original version of Birds. Now, a lot of you were wondering my opinion on this because I don't review deluxe editions on my channel, and since this was a bonus track, you didn't get to hear my thoughts. Well, as you can see by it landing in my top 10, I really do like this song, although I wish it had been stripped away a little bit from the whole trappy tendencies, the rattling percussion, but it's really a sweet sentiment that I get while listening to this song. It's heartfelt, it's genuine, it talks about kind of losing someone, but the fact that you just have this feeling that you're going to be able to fly to them again one day, to be reconnected. It puts a smile on my face. It's a rather uplifting song, and in these dark times, how am I going to say no to this? We're taking it pretty far back from my number 7 selection, Emma, from the Hell in Silence EP that came out in 2010. This is when the Tallmans were still in the band before Imagine Dragons had their lineup switch, Brittany on the synthesizers here, and while the synths do feel a bit dated, There's something that feels friendly about them, like you knew that they weren't trying too hard to make a smash hit or anything. It just feels genuine, kind of down to earth, and Dan Reynolds is kind of pouring his heart out on this one, saying, Emma, you're for me. I want this to happen. I know there's a lot of obstacles and maybe we don't think that this is going to work. There's a lot of things saying no, but also maybe if we try really hard, we can make this happen. And it's just kind of an intriguing song to me. I like the vocal melodies here. The overall allure, maybe musically, is not that significant, but I think the vocals and the overall message is what keeps me coming back.
This isn't the apocalypse. Whoa, I'm waking up. I feel it in my bones. Don't make my system know.
Y'all already know what this is. How much could I possibly say? It's Radioactive, Radioactive. Number 6. I'm sure that some people would just like to punch me right in the face for even playing a clip of this song or even mentioning it once again because it's so overplayed. I will admit that. But also, this is the first song that I heard from them, this alongside like It's Time and Demons, I believe I heard all in one listening, and I really like it still to this day. It has the dubstep-y elements to it, and I always liked dubstep. I know a ton of people hated the fact that it infiltrated music. I'm the one maybe believer in it, so yeah, Radioactive is still anthemic as hell, and I still like it.
You'll take the west train just by the side of Amsterdam, just by your left brain, just by the side of the Tin Man. Your time will come if you wait for it, if you wait for it.
Originally released on their Hell in Silence EP, but packaged in on Night Visions when it came out in 2012, we've got Amsterdam at number 5. I always liked the guitar playing on this. Wayne Sermon does a fantastic job at keeping us a little bit electrifying, but also keeping it kind of low-key. He kind of flirts around in the background as Dan does his thing on the vocals. It's something that definitely implores the listener to get more connected once the chorus lands, but I also like that the verses have a lot to offer musically. They play off of each other well, and this track is a bit underrated, dare I say.
Don't tell me to be strong. Easy, I can fight the friction. So
It's not a secret that I've said that Imagine Dragons make music exclusively for movie trailers, but I can also admit that Friction absolutely sounds badass in some of these action movie trailers.
can't take the pressure.
Come on, even this cynical motherfucker over here, that being me, can admit that that sounds cool. This track just has something mysterious about it that I haven't really heard before, especially in the mainstream, maybe in the 2010s, so I think that Imagine Dragons actually pulled off something pretty slick here, and they should be proud of it. It gets noisy, it gets kind of chaotic in places, but they make it work so well.
Nobody hear me. I got a lot that's on my mind. I cannot breathe.
One of the main elements that's really missing in current Imagine Dragons music is readily found on my number 3 selection, Hear Me. This song to me always implored the listener both vocally and musically. I like that there's kind of a supercharged bass line that we can really pick out of the mix, and that's another problem with modern music from Imagine Dragons. I think that everything kind of gets muddied together, but here it has a distinct sound, so does the guitar, a little bit of extra grit there, and then Dan Reynolds on the vocals, Can Nobody Hear Me? He just kind of cries out and unleashes on this when he talks about some of his fears, and I think it's cool that he lays it on the line.
If you gotta go, I won't stop. You hear me singing you glory, glory, hallelujah. You've made it easy for the both of us.
An extremely underrated Imagine Dragons track rears its head and spits fire on my number 2 pick, Pantomime from the It's Time EP. I wish this song had seen a wider release. Unfortunately, the EPs aren't on like streaming platforms or anything. I think that you can buy CDs on like eBay or Discogs, but they're pretty expensive. Pantomime is my number 2 pick, and obviously that refers to like acting something out through music we're going through. It was popular in like older times, but here they actually give some really interesting social commentary. It talks about riches, it talks about all of the money, honey, and then all of your friends being well overfed. The lyrics are pretty intriguing, but then that key change comes in, and then Dan Reynolds unleashes with the glory, glory, hallelujah section. It's really unexpected, but I didn't think I would fall for this song like I did, but here we are. Number 2 is definitely close to number 1, and maybe eventually someday it'll get there because this track rules.
Trying not to face what's getting over me. My hopeless hope is
What's even better than a pantomime? A Hopeless Hopeless, of course. At number 1, from Smoke and Mirrors, we have a song that I've been singing the praises of for years, and I always wished that Imagine Dragons would just do more in this vein. I know that they're doing their own thing, and obviously I can't tell an artist or a band what to do, but come on, you're not unleashing your full potential. The guitar solo on this track is wild. It's so much fun to listen to, and the lyrics, they're kind of playful. It has this whistling thing, a little bit of programming in the background, there's some extra distortion, there's so many layers and things going on, but they pull it off, they bring it all together, and then the solo to kind of close out the song, it's just fast-paced, it's fun, and I keep coming back over and over again even years later. Well, now that you've seen my top 10 favorite Imagine Dragons songs, I'd love to know yours in the comments section down below. What did you think of my list? I'm sure that some of you, again, were not expecting this video, but I recently saw a video of John McCain, rest his soul, he's no longer with us, talking positively about Barack Obama during the presidential debates back in like 2008. And just in our current system and cycle that we're in, where there's so much hate all the time, I just wanted to put it out there and kind of extend the olive branch and say we don't always have to fight. We don't always have to not like everything. And there's things that I do like, even about bands that I don't overall like. So yeah, that's why I did my top 10 Imagine Dragons. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please drop a like if you did. Hey, if you want to see more videos like this in the future, then hit that subscribe button. That'll definitely help out, and ring the bell, of course, if you want to see more top 10 countdowns, discography rankings, album reviews, and much more. See another Imagine Dragons review right here. Socials can be found in the description down below, and I'll see you soon for more right here on ARTV.